Last time on the Constant Chronicle Bad Egg, the party left the far north together and directed their troll barge southward, past all manner of dangerous sea creature, and finally landed near the jungles of Norland, then headed toward the darling metropolis. And now Constant Chronicle Bad Egg continues.
I don't know about you, but I don't have a lot of money on me. All my money is in the bank.
Same. I've got 100 coins on me.
So,
That might bribe one guard. Then we might be able to get to the bank. In which case I have many coins, perhaps.
I got a little money.
And we can always make more money. That's the thing. As long as you know about money, you can make more money. That's fine. With a face like that, these two jabronis, I say, pointing to Iggy and Rain, we're not gonna have any problems as long as.
alright, let's go for it.
Alright, the mission is to get through the gate. You guys head towards town. I rolled super low. It's a wonderful, nice little horsey ride to the gate. Some of your horses are a little weaker than others, depending on how well they've been fed this whole time. All of your horses are probably a little weaker than they should be, so it'd probably be nice to get them to a stable, have them properly fed. Yeah, it's something else to be looking forward to getting into a city. But they've still been carrying you valiantly and following orders because they're very well-trained Cranogresian horses. You're able to make it to the city very quickly. Maybe even the fact that you're riding on horses presents a certain air of wealth, because horses aren't exactly cheap, maintaining them, owning them, all that stuff, and they seem to be kitted out well. They have nice Cranogresian saddles and stuff. So you guys arrive, especially with Vic, the way you're dressed, and even Lilith, your guard, while maybe Urgatho and Temple religious in nature, still is pretty nice clothing. Ignatius, you're dressed well. Maybe Rain is the one among you that looks the most hobo-ish. Arriving on horses, dressed fairly well, maybe present an air of wealth, at least, as you approach the gate.
Sweat. We had the exhibition and they don't know.
For him, maybe you're their slave. You could just be the slave they bring with them, so that, you could be a servant for all they know.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that from here on out. We're just gonna go with that designation.
I'll eat your face.
Do you write that on the chalkboard, or are you just thinking that?
I'll eat your face.
I can't read your handwriting.
That's a shame for you.
I think one of the funniest things that's going to happen is consistently, Vic will never be able to read your handwriting. Like, no matter what you write, Vic just can't read it. It's so pedestrian. Your handwriting is so lower class. It's all block letters. You just refuse to read it because it's not in cursive. It's like, no.
Comic Sans.
Yeah. Write it fancier, or I'm not going to read that.
Lifelike drawing of
Incredibly butter regular shot.
You take time to shade the chalk with your finger.
And then Vic just mercilessly critiques
It's like really good too, and he's really upset you don't like it.
You guys can approach the gate. There are 3 guards at the east gate. You guys make it around the wall and find the entrance.
As long as we're looking really cool, I guess I'll roll an intimidate and I'll say, let us through. We are here to go to the bank. That's not good.
We don't have the bank.
Do you have tickets?
That's going to be a modified 20.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we got a bank, man. Do you have tickets?
Fuck is a ticket?
Tickets to get in, man.
Yeah, totally, man.
Tickets for what? Get in?
Entrance to the city. You can purchase tickets here if you don't already have tickets, or if your name's on will call, we can check will call for your name. Are you with the band?
Yes. Absolutely.
Alright, well, gotta roll something, okay?
That's a bluff check, if I ever heard one.
Oh shit, actually, let me roll that. Yes, we're with the band.
Yeah, fucking paladin.
21.
What band?
You have a really cool name. The Four Horsemen.
No, they know who we are.
Then I'm going to switch over to Intimidate and be like, really? You don't know who I am?
How could you not know who we are?
That's going to be another 21.
Oh, man. I mean, you guys look really important. I have a list. Just give me a name. If you're on the list, you can come on in.
Can I perhaps perceive what is on the list somehow?
Possibly with a really high perception.
Is there any way we could distract him into showing his list
Oh,
accidentally? Like, make him go over to pick up something, we knock a pin out of his hand or some shit. 22 on perception list.
There are no names on the list.
I write that down, no names on the list, just say a name, I guess.
I'm going to pass him a little pouch of 10 gold and say, we're the 4 oarsmen.
Alright, roll me diplomacy. You can add a 1 to it for the 10 gold.
That's a natural 1.
He says, never heard of him. Keeps the 10 gold, though.
I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I meant the 4 horsemen in this.
Horsemen? Before you have a code?
That's a 17.
Do you spell it differently? Do you want to throw a little gold in with that to sweeten the pot?
Yeah, another 10 gold.
If you do 30 gold, that'll be enough to get you in. I'll go ahead and DM talk you.
I'll give you 10 on top.
I'll throw 10.
Alright,
I have much more than that.
okay, with the 40 gold, Oh, four horsemen. Yeah, I see that right here, guys. Yeah, so what you want to do is go through this door here, follow the hallway down. There's a stage where you guys can set up. Crowd's waiting.
Oh, great.
Toads.
You've got to fill 15 minutes.
I would like to interrupt this idiot with an intimidation check. I said, listen, we've just been on the road. We're on the list. We're going to play a fucking show. Stable the goddamn horses before I spill your entrails here now.
You can roll that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. 23.
With that, and because you guys have already paid him so much gold, he'll be like, okay, cool. 4 horsemen. Stable the horses for the 4 horsemen. Got you, man. Any other information you want to leave at the stable?
Yeah, just tell them it's for Big Vic, alright? Now get out of here before I kick your ass.
Horses will be stabled for Big Vic. Of course, you'll have to pay the bill to retrieve them, but he'll take them to the stable for you, and you guys will be ushered onto stage where a crowd awaits. A performance from the 4 horsemen announced by an announcer who's got your name on a slip of paper, and you guys will walk up on stage to, so far, an unresponsive crowd. It's up to you to make them respond. They're looking at you guys, the 4 horsemen, waiting to be entertained.
We gotta sing this shit a cappella.
At the Eastgate stage.
Bum, 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 bum. I actually happen to have like a skull in my backpack that I could play off of.
That's fine. You guys can all roll perform checks, which is what, is that charisma?
Well, can I use my profession of artist?
Yeah, you can use profession of artist if that's the kind of artist you think that you are.
I am an artist of many levels.
Sure, yeah, you can play art drums on a skull.
Holy shit, awesome. 24.
5.
Rain's back there laying down a beat on his skull. Tick,
I'm
tick,
gonna
tick, tick,
roll,
tick, tick.
backup vocals, some kind of eerie, vampiric, like
Like purity ring? Yeah.
Yeah, something in between Enya and Gregorian chant is what I'm looking for.
Can I use my electricity to make a theremin off of someone's sword?
I have a knife on me, like a dagger.
That'd be better. I don't have a knife.
Do you
I'm trying
loan
to
it?
perform.
Yeah, you can use my dagger.
Or you pass Iggy a dagger to Zap.
I got a 7.
Yeah.
You zap it, but it doesn't make any noise. What did you have going on there, Vic?
I got a 25. I guess probably lead vocals.
Alright.
And I
like
got 24
growling,
from
like
percussion.
Till Linderman, Rammstein vocals.
Do you want to give us a sample verse or chorus or something of your guys' new track, The 4 Horsemen? Even just the title of the track, maybe?
Landing in the tundra, lightning and the thunder.
It already rhymes. Love it.
The earth rent asunder.
This is going to go really well, but then another rival group's going to hear this song and get jealous and write a diss track. So
Oh shit.
now you guys in the Darling Metropolis. You've got an assorted music history. You have other musicians that want to battle you. So this goes really well. You guys have a good performance. At least most of you. I feel like we had one roll low in the bunch, but every band's got that one band member that the rest of the band sort of carries them. Ignatius is the Ringo Starr of this group. That's all. You guys perform on a very small stage for a very small crowd. But it goes okay, it goes pretty well. And you guys once you've performed, that seems to have paid your entrance into the city, that and your bribe money. You're now allowed to wander free among the Darling Metropolis. Where was the first place you head?
Bank.
Head straight to the bank of the Darling Metropolis to do business.
We're right on it. I think that went great.
No, we actually
we really
got
nailed
to
it,
do that.
At least 3 people enjoyed it.
No, that's not
good.
That's 3 more than the floor, which is 0.
Yeah.
On the way to the bank, can we need to stop by the local magical item shop if there is one?
There are tons of shops, tall buildings with apartments, lots of large structures. This is probably one of the largest cities in the world outside of Cranberry or White Castle. One of the most modern cities in the world outside of Ponte Restra.
Nope, natural one. I got nothing.
All the store owners and shop owners and people at tables you ask about it seem not only hesitant or reluctant, but almost like downright insisting that they don't have that. As like you're insulting them, asking if they would have something like that. Knowledge, history, Ignatius, since you're the only one from the present time period.
-1, 13.
You've heard of these, now that Lilith's asking about them, these bags of holding. I guess maybe you've all heard rumors of these things. But you'll also know that many of the governments have outlawed such items. Yeah, apparently some people bought 2 of them, put them together, caused dangerous dimensional rifts, which caused trouble around the world. So now they're outlawed. They're hard to get. Not that they're impossible to find, but there's not going to be anyone selling them. You're going to have to find them from a rare items dealer, not anyone that's going to have a shop in town. And whoever sells them will be doing so probably hidden from the eye of the law. So.
On the DL.
Yeah, and owning one is probably illegal, so getting caught with one can get you in trouble. So finding one might be more difficult than in the past.
And more expensive.
I won't say no longer being made, but very rarely being made, and now when they're made, they go for a higher price.
Can I ask around ask if there's it's been a while, but the deck of many things, if that lady's around anywhere, if she's still...
Ooh.
Knowledge local?
Damn, you would do that?
Hell yeah, dude. This is the perfect time to do it. 15.
So your familiarity with Nona, the deck of many things, is through the drow, the elves you grew up around. You would know that Nona still travels, though no longer in her full form. She is now a disembodied head in a box, and appears less frequently, but does still appear, and sometimes does still appear here, though more often she is found in Cranagers. Cranagers is the one place she's known to appear most often. Other places are very rare. Only when fate allows. Of course, Ignatius, you're from this time period, so no time has been missing for you. These guys can put together, they've missed a period of time between 100 and 200 years, probably around 150 years from
Well, we have to get
their
there
last
first.
memory.
Yeah.
We're sitting around asking about,
Sure.
like, what are all the famous people in Darling
Yeah.
Metropolis and Ignatius.
Yeah, and the fact that Jim Darling has been dead for a while, because Jim Darling is probably...
Jim Darling's dead!
I'm sure if you guys want to use this city to put together the fact that time has passed, that's a reasonable thing to have happened by the time you guys reach the bank.
When did Jim Darling die?
Whenever he gave birth to those 4 kids.
I look pointedly at Lilith.
4 kids?
That's disgusting. Do they also do music?
Of course they
They all do
Of
different
course they
things. They've all pursued the arts in different varieties.
Oh,
There's
terrible.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar,
Tony.
Tony. So the arts are still pursued here. Jim Darling's memory is still cherished. The hits are still played fondly. Yeah, it's a theme park tribute to Jim Darling, and his kids still live here, and there's still businesses here and stuff, and people live here. Yeah, you guys can go to the bank and inquire about some funds.
Yeah, I would like to go to a teller and be like, excuse me, I'd like to know if this bank has reciprocity with Airbane, please.
Diplomacy.
17.
For their larger and more important clients, they do.
I'm from a noble family with a lot of corporate interests all across the world, so I imagine so would be the Von Claude family.
If you have any proof of identity, they can access your accounts.
Don't you have wizards on hand who can cast zones of truth to verify my identity?
They do have one wizard on staff. He's very old, though, and they'll explain to you that wizards are very hard to come by these days. They've got one. They'll have to call him in, though. They have to request him to come in. He's not here today. But if you'd like to schedule an appointment, they can do that.
You know where he lives?
Diplomacy?
12?
Yes, but it's confidential. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, we'd be more than happy to, though.
I don't have the time. I don't have any coin on me. We were shipwrecked. There's no insurance. The contract, it wasn't mine.
You have no proof of identification? No way to prove who you are?
Have you been on a ship, yes? You know
No,
a boat
personally, me, no. I've never been. I've been in a bank.
travels on the ocean.
I'm familiar with what ships are. Yeah, I've just never been on one.
Well, so
I've
you
seen them.
understand that when it hits an iceberg, it sinks, right? With
Iceberg?
all the papers that one has to verify their identity. I lost 10,000 gold coins worth of contracts for whale furs and various bones. I don't have time to wait for an appointment.
Well, do you have any sort of collateral? I mean, do you have a name and collateral? Maybe we can loan you some money until we can schedule this appointment. The bank's happy to do. If you have something to leave us as collateral, we'd be happy to set up something.
No, or you remember, shipwreck, iceberg, drowned contracts, drowned patents of nobility.
I remember and I understand, but as a bank, we have sort of a obligation to make sure that our funds, and when they're handed out, can be accounted for. Your story sounds great, but we get a lot of sob stories in here. You're not the first tourist to come in that's lost their luggage or something. This is a tourist town. People lose luggage all the time. And we feel bad for you, but unless you have some sort of collateral, a name, a reference, something we can use to ensure this money gets repaid.
Yeah, no, you know, Emmy Darling?
I mean, of course I know Emmy Darling.
Well, yeah, that's the reference.
I can check that out right now if you'd like.
Oh, shit.
You do that.
All right.
I don't think that Miss Darling will be happy that she's had.
I'm sure they won't. I'm not the one disturbing them. You are. I'll send for Emmy right away, and our Emmy's representative see if they'll vouch for you. Not a problem, sir.
What was your name?
My name is Bogart,
Oh yes, Beaujard.
like yogurt with a B.
Where I'm from, yogurt is pronounced Yowert, so your name is Bauer.
I don't like it.
I don't care. Go.
Like some sort of evil miracle, while you're arguing with the bank teller, a priestess of Urgathoa walks in draped in all the garment of Urgathoa, blood-stained, reeking of cocaine and tequila. A bugged-out, weird-looking lady with a bad haircut, probably a wig because she's a snake lady. But even the wig's all messed up. Even a good-looking wig, her wig's all like lopsided. But she arrives to greet you, whispers to the manager for a few moments after greeting you, introducing herself
Oh, this drops to
as
me.
Tim. She will welcome you guys back to the temple afterwards, but after whispering to the bank manager will apologize for any inconvenience. And the few of you that have patronage, those funds will now be released to you via this bank, as much or as little as you would like to retrieve.
I would like to insist that Bogart, the very rude, misunderstanding teller from before. Counts out my fundage personally, please.
He will. 1 platinum at a time, if that's what it takes. How many platinum is he counting out there?
6.
Yeah, well, he counts out 6 platinum and hands it to you. He made a big deal about it, but he counts to 6 for you.
I shake the coins in my hand and flick one back and say, you know what, actually, I want that one in gold, now that I think about it. So after it's all changed out, I look at it and I say to Bogart, actually, no, I'll take it to the platinum, please.
7.8
Sorry for the ink.
He'll have started making change and then go back and scoop all the change back in the drawer. Yeah, really inconvenient.
Yeah, I'll take 100 gold. Because I honestly don't think I can carry much more than that.
But yeah, you can take out however much money you can carry. Like I said, 50 gold can be a pound for easy conversion. But then also consider the amount of space that number of coins takes up and stuff.
That's why I'm only going to take 100 gold.
And you guys, if you have a lot of money, they might give you a sack, but then you have to just walk around with sacks that are obviously like big sacks of gold. That's like walking around the Target on yourself. Especially in a town like this, where as you guys walked around on your way here, you'll notice that even though there were rules against weapons, lots of people are carrying them. Crime seems a little more prevalent than you would have expected in this town back in its heyday. It's a little more run down than it was in its heyday. Not quite as upkept. Still full of tourists, but not quite as pleasant, I guess. You wouldn't know if you want to walk around with a bunch of bags of gold.
I would like to talk more with the Urgathoan priestess.
Yeah, she's there with you. She was just there to deliver that message, and she also relays the Cersei information and the information. Do you just want Lilith, or do you want the whole group to hear that stuff?
I mean, whoever's at the bank.
So everyone can hear the information. Like I said, I can take you back to the church where you'll be treated to a meal, sex if you want, drugs, rock and roll.
Yeah, I'll be there later.
A place to sleep if you need. Like they can take care of you while you're here, unless you guys want to find somewhere else to stay. Otherwise, she's going to return to the temple. Not the busiest temple of Urgatho in the world, but still well maintained and a nice one.
At least I will be by later for the, late night orgy.
You're always welcome. The doors are always
I
open.
never said no to a late night orgy.
Right, hey! Vic Von Claude, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll be
Giggity?
there. Rain.
Chalkboard out.
Find me some lambskin prophylactics in this shitty town.
Well, we have a free place to stay, guys. All you have to do is, maybe fuck some people or get fucked.
That's the price of admission.
Either
Rain
way,
puts like a
sounds
finger
great.
in the
You gotta back it up around me. Listen, I don't want to catch any disease. Sorry if that offends the Urgathoans. I don't really want to fuck with that, you understand? That sounds like some bullshit, Tim, but we're down to come and drink some wine and have a good time.
Yeah, come party. You can go sleep outside if you want to. It's fine.
Well, I'll sleep inside. I just don't want to, catch a venereal disease.
You might still get fleas. Until the orgy tonight, what are you guys up to killing time in town?
Shopping trip?
Shopping!
Yay!
I could use a new weapon. My axe is okay, but I could use a better one. My armor's decent. I don't know. What are you guys looking for?
So does anybody know where to get condoms in this town?
Knowledge local.
Roll 13, knowledge local.
Condoms are readily available and even free.
Alright.
Alright.
Outside the Church of Urgathoa, too much of this disdain of the Urgathoan Church, due to a public health order, they have to be made freely available. So outside of the Church of Urgathoa, there's a bowl of condoms, although they're discouraged by the church. So if you're nearby later, you can just grab some as long as the bowl's not empty. So if you guys want to go shopping, I heard shopping yelled out while I was getting a beer.
Shopping!
Shopping! You guys can go shopping. Weapons are hard to find here because they're supposed to be frowned upon or illegal. You have to have a permit to carry them or be a resident of the town, although it seems not to be being enforced very well. So there aren't many places selling them, although you might be able to find someone that sells them illegally with the knowledge local. But they're not out in the street, like just in the open air markets or in the shops. Mostly it's musical crap. Instruments, Jim Darling memorabilia, new Darling stuff, new band releases. Nothing that would excite any of you, I believe, unless you want a guitar to smash over someone's head or something.
Can we do a knowledge local for, the black market?
I'll roll for that.
I got a 5.
15.
Well, 4.
So on your chalkboard, Rain, your uncle had some shady dealings with people in the Darling Metropolis through horse races and such, and that there are some legitimate business owners who run shady business under the counter. You're not sure which place of business it is. You think there were 2 or 3 business owners that did black market stuff under the table at their legitimate establishments.
Alright, I'll rate 2 or 3 business members, black market, somewhere around here.
So it'd definitely be, somewhere probably an apothecary or clearly not a magic item, but maybe a music shop, and they run something on the side.
Let's go there and look! Right on the chalkboard.
Yeah, we need to just find the shiftiest looking place and ask them if they know where to get rare items.
Or, does anyone have detect magic?
Look at the sorcerer guy. Point at him.
Just lightning bolts.
Yeah. Apart from the musical instruments, I mean, there's like clothing items and stuff. But I really just don't think there's anything that you guys would be interested in. It's like fashion and music stuff.
So we should all have an instrument?
That sounds like a good idea, and I can see if I can detect any magic while we're on the way there.
And you guys are already in the market area that has either outdoor tables with like cheaper looking music instruments or shops with masterwork looking music instruments.
What do you guys think about playing? I'm down with the flute.
Drums.
Loves the skin flute.
I'm all about drums, preferably skulls that are the drums, but I'm open.
Cheap instruments? Let's go to the music store and see what we can get.
All manner of musical
How much for a
instruments.
skin flute?
Maybe an accordion.
You guys are trying to make the like most annoying band possible. The cheapest instruments out in the open air market are around 5 to 10 gold, depending on what kind of instrument you're looking at. If you go into the stores, they'll range between 100 and 200 gold for the masterwork ones.
Sweat.
And that's any variety of flute, whatever instrument you want to, imagine it might be. Mass-produced instruments. If you want a cheap mass-produced tuba for between 5 and 10 gold, you can find one. Or if you want an expensive one between 100 and 200 gold, you can find one as well.
I want to try to detect magic, but also find the nicest tuba shop.
You have no problem finding a nice tuba shop, although you detect no magic here except the lingering magic of maybe one of your allies or people in the, city that might have magic in their blood or something, although they dare not use it in public. But nothing strong or, that draws any attention outside of the ordinary for just walking around in a town.
And I want to go into the tuba shop.
Drums and tuba is really good together.
Yeah, I'm all about the drums. Yeah, sign me up.
You want a cheap drum or an expensive drum?
I can't afford it. Yeah, an expensive drum.
So you could pay 5 gold for a cheap little like hand bongo if you want like two.
Can I get
small.
like the sticks? I just want.
You just want to buy some sticks? Yeah, for
I want
for 5 gold you can have 5 drumsticks and you can just hit whatever you want with them.
Baller.
It's gonna
I
hit
have
stuff.
a skull. I was planning on using the
Hit the skull, hit your armor, like that stuff like that, make all kinds of sounds. It's like
We're gonna
Stomp.
make it super obnoxious.
You guys have
gotta
seen Stomp.
skin something that you turn into a drum. It'll be fun.
That'd
Yeah,
be
make it a
great.
whole process.
I want to see the.
I would love for the Bad Egg crew to spend a whole night going out to like hunt something and kill it and make a drum. Spend the whole night in the crafting process. Can we just hang out in the woods, guys, together and make a drum?
They make drums that have their faces on top of the drums.
That's also you can make
Yeah,
face drums.
amazing. I want to make a skin flute. I mean, this is all making sense right now.
You can buy a cheap flute for 5 gold and an expensive one for 100 gold, and then stretch skin over it in the future if you like.
Yeah, definitely want to do that.
Yeah, what do you need? I need money because I have none of the monies.
Oh, you need to write that on your chalkboard then. Ask someone to buy you a drumsticks.
I have money for drumsticks. I don't
Oh.
have money for an expensive drum.
You buy the drumsticks. You got a flute to put skin over later.
I don't want a cheap one. I want a good one.
100 gold, you can have a good one. Masterwork flute.
Take that.
A mid-range tambourine.
Something that you can play while you're doing your therapy.
It's a nice cheap. Like you went to the tambourine table and you looked at all the cheap tambourines, and it was the nicest cheap tambourine at 10 gold.
Hell yes.
It's made of a decent wood. Maybe even Jim Darling related or something.
I heart Jim Darling.
Even I heart Jim Darling tambourine. So not only is it a +1 because it's masterwork. Oh, if you bought a masterwork, you get a +1 when you use it to perform, by the way. And also because it's a Jim Darling thing, I'll remember that whenever you're dealing with Jim Darling fans, if you're playing it in front of them. But also, I'll remember that if you're playing that in front of Jim Darling haters. Consider that whenever you're playing it, I guess. And you bought a tuba?
Yeah, I want to buy the nicest tuba I can find.
Vic Von Claude buys the 200 gold tuba. Do you want 800 gold in change, or would you like to set up something else while you're here? Sort of credit?
Want to buy me a drum?
Yeah, spend some money on your friends.
I squinted at the range chalkboard and said, what does that say?
Pay for lessons. They have all kinds of things you can spend that money on if you're interested.
I want to pay for a promotion.
What do you want to promote?
Concert.
They don't really do that from here, but they can help put you in contact with someone, and they can arrange for someone to help like carry some money down there if it's an amount of like carrying some money. But if that's something that could probably cost 100, 200 gold, which you could probably carry, no problem. That's only a couple pounds. You can carry most of this pretty easily, besides the bulk in your bag and the jingle that it will make, making you an obvious target. They can help you with that, but do you want to spend any money here at this music shop on other instruments, tuba straps, lessons, a booklet of songs, anything like that?
Let's go for the deluxe package. Want straps for it, carrying case, extra mouth.
If you do all that, maybe you can like
supplies.
diplomacy some sort of deal to get it cheaper than what it would normally be.
Yeah, I can try that. I'm not very diplomatic, but we'll see. I got a 21.
Usually that would be a $700 package. Sounds like he's willing to take 100 off, make it 600.
Let's call it 550 so I have something to promote our concert with.
Another diplomacy?
11.
He says if you mention his shop on your flyer, he'll agree to it.
Done Done deal.
All
Fantastic.
right. Insurance provided by Hans House of Tubas.
Hans House of Tuba.
But they were even
Hans, my man.
provided by.
Whatever you need to put on there, you'll add a little line on the end whenever you get the printing done, and he will arrange for if you can't carry all the money. Though there is enough of you that I think you probably could if you needed to. And you can find a printer to promote it, and he will hang up a flyer here in the shop, of course, because it's got his shop's name on it, so that's no problem. If you'd like to arrange that after you leave
I
here.
say to Hans, listen, just can you hold the money in escrow? I will send a runner from whoever I can find to promote this to collect it from him.
Sense motive, maybe?
17.
Hans is a human, and he seems trustworthy enough that you think you could leave your money with him. You made a pretty big purchase, and obviously he'll want to remember you and make a good connection. So you feel like you could leave money here and it would be safe.
Well, fantastic then. How about you keep that 50 gold unnegotiated? You take that for yourself. You buy your wife or your partner something very nice.
Oh, lovely. And with that, that'll establish a very good relationship with Hans. Because of that extra 50 gold, if you want an influence point with Hans in the future, you can add a +6 to any diplomacy roll with him next time you deal with Hans. He knows you're a big tipper, so
That's a string, baby.
always appreciated whenever you tip, especially well. So now we go to a printer. There's one of those in town, sort of in the northeast quadrant, but you can ask around and find that even without the passive 10 local. You guys can, I know you're looking for it, so you can say, hey man, where's this? Even Hans will probably tell you how to get there, so it's not a big deal.
Well, on the way there, I'd like to say to Lilith, listen, do you think your church would put on a raucous little concert?
They like to parties.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And this is Music Town. They seem to have been set up for that, according to what was said earlier. So yeah, you guys seemed of importance. I mean, you haven't talked to the priestess Tim yet, but if you guys want to go on the faith and fact that you guys seemed important, that you could just probably get away with it, you can, or you can go ask first, or you can go ask first before you print.
I just I feel like they wouldn't have unfrozen our accounts if there wasn't some leverage there,
Yeah.
especially with your position.
Push comes to
within
shove,
the
maybe
church.
if you just make a donation to the church, maybe if nothing else, that might take a little, grease the palm a little bit. Maybe you can make it happen if nothing else. It might happen without that, but if it doesn't, you have money now to grease palms, so.
Say to Lilith, this seems like it's in everybody's interest. I can't foresee them saying no. We make wicked fight music for enjoying life and enjoying other people's bodies. I can't see them saying no.
I can't wait to hear how good the music sounds later when you guys all roll perform checks. So you guys go to the printer. It's 1 gold for 10 copies. They have a printing press imported from the elven land of Demon Snot. Fancy elven press, so they're able to make copies really quickly.
Do they have a service where they will put up the flyers?
Roll diplomacy.
18.
Normally that's only for regular customers, people that have accounts here, but if you want to set up an account, if you're going to be a regular customer here, and leave some money like a tab, like 100, if you open a 100 gold tab, then they'll do it because they assume you're going to be a regular customer. This money will just be like, you want leave 100 gold to open a tab, they will put them up for free as a service to a regular customer.
When do we want this show to go on? I think we need a couple of days.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
What,
We definitely need to practice, or we could also go back to the tuba spot and take some lessons.
You got a book to learn songs and stuff with it, and I think and one lesson was included with the price that you paid. I think we worked up a whole package for the price you paid, so you can get 1 free lesson with your package earlier. But yeah, it is good to have all this information before you guys print flyers. Where, when, all the normal information we need for a flyer. Price, if there is a price.
Listen, I say to them, I'm just going to put this money here. You guys hold on to it. We'll be back with details later.
Tomorrow about.
So you go ahead and leave 100 to open an account under your name, Vic Von Claude.
Duke Von Claude and the Four Horsemen.
You don't pay for any of the copies yet, though. You come back with more gold for that problem. You can also take that out of the 100 also. So even instead of paying for the copies and then starting an account for 100 gold, you can leave the 100 gold now and then return later and just pay for your copies out of the 100 gold, which is even probably better for you. That's just, you have an established account at the printer now.
Fantastic. Let's check out this temple unless anybody wants to go find any, like, adventure gear.
Well, we know there's not any magic items available.
Not visibly in the market.
All right, so back to the orgy.
Back to the orgy.
Yeah, the all-day orgy, the Urgathon Temple. It doesn't get crazy till at night. Now it's like the midday orgy. So it's like the old people that have retired at Dog Metropolis and stuff. The regulars are there, like midday. Cold buffet, old naked people.
Well, I want to talk to Tim about putting on the show.
The diplomacy or intimidation? I mean, I feel like either one would work because you do come from a position of power since his bosses have explained how important you are to some degree. And I think based on your attire and things you probably already said, it's been made apparent that you're also a priestess of Urgathoa.
Yeah, I got a 23 on Diplo.
You show her your vagina piercing, like, yo, we're cool, right? Yeah, solid. Yeah, whatever you need.
I'm gonna, President, I'm like, wow, it seems like there's a lot of old fuddy-duddies around here.
Well, it's early. It's early.
I'm just saying, we need to bring in fresh flesh.
Yeah.
So this would be a good way for
They're
us
down.
to do so.
They'll say both that it's early and that the Jim Darling crowd isn't as young as it used to be. So a lot of people that come to town that are tourists are older folk these days. Older elves and stuff mostly, gnomes, halflings, some humans that are nostalgic for the past. There are some locals that come to the church. But maybe your event, if you guys promote it at some cool places, maybe that'll bring in some more young people. Like I said, this isn't one of the most popular Urgathoan temples in the world, but maybe you can help liven it up with your concert. That's what they're
We're
hoping.
gonna make it the most popular Urgathoan
Yeah.
temple.
Kaiser Cersei, said you came highly recommended as an Urgathoan priestess. So if you could improve the position of this church, that would improve your standing in the Urgathoan temple community.
We're going to take care of the music, of course, the advertising. Maybe we should go out and collect some sort of a feast for the feast. We've got a couple of days, right? If we won't get
The priestess Tim will also say a lot of venues in town, when they put on shows like this, unless the one band that's playing is a big headliner that's a big draw, which he doesn't know how big the Four Horsemen are. Maybe you guys have a big name. He's never heard of you. So, but maybe you guys have a big following. Otherwise, if you could find other local groups that have smaller followings, maybe their fans will come, put more bands on the lineup.
The bill.
Yeah, that's always a great way to bring in fresh faces. People that might not have come to see you will come see other bands, but then end up seeing you, and vice versa. You can, mingle your crowds.
I like the sound of that.
Thumbs
if
up.
you guys want to hang out at the orgy and, bang it out, we need to figure out how we want to bring in some good food. We need to look into getting some more acts as well. So
Sounds like a great idea. Hey, Tim, is there any special drugs that you could whip up for the show?
This is
someone
the Darling
that-
Metropolis, where drugs are illegal but readily available. Through the Temple of Urgathoa, that can be arranged.
I get up
They know people that know people?
real close to Tim, and I say, I want you to cook up the best brew that you can think of, okay?
So something highly intoxicating, is that what we're looking for?
Intoxicating, stimulating, hallucinogenic. I want everything.
yes.
Euphoric, Lilith. This is why I like you. You and me would think
Yeah.
alike.
Tim will say that the two easiest things to find, either legally or illegally in the area, are either Elven Absinthe, which makes people sleepy more than euphoric, and Strange Brew, which they will inform you is a strained version of a Zombrew, but does fuck people up pretty hardcore, although it can make them a little weaker the next day.
That's called a hangover. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right.
He runs his finger down Tim's face and say, if we get this for you, can you make us up something that'll make forget and remember this night forever?
I mean, they can always spike the Zombrew even. They can get Strange Brew for a little extra. They might be able to get Zombrew, which has chunks in it and is a little more effective. They can add stuff to that. People that come to the Urgathoan Temple are usually pretty open to trying things. That's the big tenet of the church. Do everything once. You at least gotta try it. If you guys want to make a chunky punch that's laced with drugs, you can.
Gross.
Chunky drug punch.
The church has some money and is willing to help you guys, but if you guys want to split the cost of it, that would be helpful. 40 gold for one keg, and that'll be 80 gold keg, but, you pay 40, the church will pay 40. This is an illegal beverage here in town, but they can get some Zombrew with chunks. And then if you want to lace it with drugs, that'd be another 80 gold each, so 160 for the drugs to lace one barrel. So that's 120 each for a drug-laced barrel, and you can increase that for as many barrels you want to do. They seem to be willing to match you up to 6 barrels.
Barrels, why not 12?
Diplomacy?
16.
That's gonna be another 23.
They're willing to double it. 12. Still the same 120 each. So 12 times 120.
1,440.
Yeah, I knew it had a bunch of 4s. And if you have platinum and you want to make that a nice even number, you can use the rest to buy decorations, some more snacks, whatever else kind of things. More prostitutes, whatever you think it probably needs. That go into the fund if you want to make that a nice round number.
Bump it up to 2,000.
Bouncing off that's what, like 500 something gold. So you can tell me what you think 500 something gold will get you extra streamers or whatnot. Crepe
you think
paper.
Decorations, more food, or more hookers, y'all?
They can get you a mixture of all three. Which one's most important out of the three?
More hookers.
All right. Majority of the money we spend on hookers, and then whatever's left over, you'll spend on the other two things. That's fine. That'll be included in your party. You threw down some gold here, which already, even though you're not necessarily Urgathoan, Vic Von Claude, you've now donated heavily to this church, so you'll be treated kindly, at least at this one temple. Treated like a member. As far as they know, you're a member. You're coming to this orgy, donating a bunch of money. So unless anyone says otherwise,
Just as long as it says Von Claude Production, real big on the flyer.
I mean, you're going to pay for the flyer later, so you tell me what the flyer says once we get to there. And it's established you guys a nice relationship with Tim. And he'll point out, like, all the stuff available. Like, the food's not great right now, but he says later they'll be fresh, nice and fresh later. There'll be way more old, sexy people here later. Not as old. He promises better later, and you guys, he'll point out that the place, there's extra places to sleep here. They're not the cleanest places, but it's, you know, a cot to lay down on if you need it. Everything we showed you here that you need to see while you're here. Even the bowl of condoms outside, which he'll advise you to stay away from unless you really insist on having one. But they are there, and they haven't been all taken for the day yet. But he says it's early. If you want to grab one, I'd grab one now. They're usually gone by the time the party starts, and it's later.
I grabbed 5.
All right, you go ahead and stock up. They're snakeskin condoms, actually.
I came here to make business happen and fuck.
Yeah.
I have done business.
Yeah, so you can buy a snakeskin condom. It never hurts to lube one of those up, but it's snakeskin. It's like wearing a boot on your dick. Heard of
You're
that?
not underselling this.
Yee fucking haw. Yeah, you can grab one of those on the way out.
Some of the local taverns and try to recruit some other bands to play.
That's a good idea. You can find some other acts.
Either that or we go out and try to kill something, but it's going to get kind of rancid by the time the show actually happens, which isn't a terrible idea for an Urgathoan party. Then we can get converts. Converts, baby.
Or they'll get hooked on the drugs, and then we have drug addicts.
Yeah.
Drug addicts.
Drug addicts, baby! So, roll me knowledge local to find where to find local bands at your taverns, stages, otherwise.
Knowledge local. 9.
I'm not gonna try it.
I got a 10.
Big Fun Claw's too good to even try. You guys are having trouble finding bands in a town full of music, which is weird, but maybe it's the middle of the day, and no one does as good as flyering a job as you guys are gonna do.
How about a perception check where we hear the coolest band?
What about perception check for flyers? 12.
Yeah, you can roll a perception check. All I need is a good number.
We got 23 on perception.
12.
So it looks like Lilith is going to hear some music and be able to track it down. It's underground, though. You have to go through the sewer, or you guys will notice that in this town there is installed an underground travel network of carts on like rail trails underground, powered by rat folk, sort of like in wheels that they run on and power these carts that go forward. So some rat folk powered underground carts you can ride and try to find it down there. It's somewhere underground.
Rick looks like he's giggling, but there's no sound. Looking like he's giggling. It's probably
Yeah.
weird looking.
Maybe roll a perception check if you guys do go downstairs and see the rat trains.
22.
Natural 1. Natural 15.
Rain, between you and Vic Von Claude, you're able to try to pinpoint the sound. It's not in the, you guys came downstairs into like a subway area and it's not here. It's like echoing through the tunnels. But if you get on one of these rat-powered trains, follow it around to get closer to it. That's your, and you know which direction to go. There seems to be 2 tracks with rat-powered trains going one way or the other way, and you know which direction you need to go towards the sound. So if you want to like go from one stop to another, see if you can find it, you can hop on a rat train.
I'm gonna point at that and I'm gonna say that way for the band on their chalkboard.
I would ask maybe a little detect magic to see if there's anything fun down here. Like if there's anything black market or underground, this is going to be where we're underground
Yeah,
magic.
you can detect, if you have detect magic, you can detect magic down here, or try to at least.
It's an underground railroad for rats.
You detect no magic down here. Less than above ground, even.
Alright, so let's, I guess, hop on the rat train to the next stop, closer to where...
Yeah, you guys want to head southeast on one of these rat trains instead of, there's one going southeast and one going east. You want to head southeast on one of these rat trains.
They ever get out to the surface for music?
The ones that they're running in the back of the train, like when they stop before they start running again,
Yeah.
they'll say that, they catch music sometimes, but rarely do they have time or the money to go above ground and catch a concert, if you will. They're pretty busy down here and the pay's not great, so.
We're throwing a really good party if you guys want to come by.
Where and when?
We're throwing Temple in 2 days.
At night, we assume?
Yes.
No time specifically?
9 o'clock.
Yeah, you just write 12 o'clock on the question mark.
Question mark. Until
It's 9 until question mark, question mark, question mark.
an evening show.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll diplomacy to see if they want to come.
Unnatural 7. Natural 20.
Damn.
Ignatius coming with the win. I think Vivian Claw was also doing well, and you put it over the top. They don't usually get invited to things above ground, so actually with the national tournament, they seem really excited about it. What an honor to be invited to an above ground concert. Are you sure that it's okay? Am I going to be allowed, or is it going to be a hassle?
Everybody is welcome in the Temple of Urgathoa, from what I understand. Isn't that right, Lois?
Urgathoa will protect you.
Knowledge local.
We stumbled on some racism.
3.
20, but not natural.
What you said is true. The Temple of Orgatho will welcome them, but what you've gathered walking around town is that rat folk aren't generally that accepted above ground. Like here underground, doing their jobs, out of sight. They're fine, but to be seen about town is not necessarily smiled at.
Are
So
there underground ways to get to Urthoan Temple?
there are access points nearby. They might have to deal with like a block or so of dirty looks, but you made this rat folk feel welcome. He'll tolerate a block of dirty looks to come to your concert.
Tell him to bring his friends. Maybe one of them will know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the rat folks do work in the sewer. That is a pretty common occupation for rat folk, and that's a little bit below the subway level. But if they want to travel through some turbo water to get there, I'll roll percentage-wise if that works for them. I rolled high enough that he will have at least one friend who works underground in the sewer, even lower level than him. If they want to sneak in without and avoid a block's worth of discomfort, they can. They'll pop up just behind the temple, not in the temple, but nearby, near like a snake pit and like a fountain. So they can come out near there. As long as they're comfortable around snakes, they can arrive at the temple unscathed and without being bothered. We'll say at least 6 of them will show up to your show because of your nice invite. And like I said, rat folks aren't invited very many places, especially by nice-looking humanoids like yourselves.
We're a civically minded group.
I have never met 4 nicer white people on the train. I would love to come to your concert. He's still got to pedal the train to get you guys further, so he's got to physically power this train to go to the next stop. Everyone gets on board. The train is painted to look like a snake, so it's got scales painted on it and a face paint on the front, mouth open and like sharp teeth. Powered by a rat running behind it, pushes forward very slowly down this track, so it's not super fast, but it does get you guys to your destination closer to this sound. You guys get off of the next platform. There are 3 people there, and the music is pretty good. It drew you guys here. Probably better than anything you could do. And you guys haven't been able to find anyone else playing music. So if you want to try to invite a 3 rat folk music group to the Urthoan Temple,
We are now bards.
Can we convince them to play just like a giant trench coat so they look like one big person?
maybe with the diplomacy, if you think that's a good marketing trick. Ignatius, you're a gnome. Gnomes always have quirky ideas like that. So if you want to try and sell a quirky idea, I'll allow diplomacy to them.
Alright, if I Diplo it, see if they'll do that. We'll put like a big hat on it. Diplo. It's not good. I think that's a 2. It's a 6.
Yeah, they're not so sure because it might disguise their identity. And where do you get a big trench coat? It seems to be able to play, standing on each other's shoulders.
Just so happy.
And it seems kind of gimmicky.
Can we regular Diplo them to just play as themselves?
It should be pretty easy gauged by your earlier rat folk encounters.
I got another 23.
They also seem very surprised you're asking them to play above ground. It seems like rat folk mostly play down here in the subway or outside of town. They're not usually seen above ground, no matter how good their music is. At least according to these rat folk. So
We're trying to throw a big party, and Urthoa wants to include everyone. The Church of Urthoa.
they seem
all
excited to be on your bill. If you'll put their name on the bill,
What is their name and what kind of music?
Sweet Nothings. They're an a cappella group.
Acapella.
That would have been so good in a trench coat.
They don't even have instruments. You could totally pull that off. They just don't want to be gimmicky. But yeah, they'll come sing a cappella. They'll even, be the first band. They'll open because they realize, not having instruments, being rat folk, they seem very willing to be your opening act for sure, knowing that humans might not see them and the local snake folk might not welcome them. They're willing to play first and get back underground after they do their set even.
Praise be to
Excited to play above ground.
Urthoa and Lilith will be, whenever you report to the temple in 2 days, ask for Tim or Lilith, and we will make sure.
And you're
to
Lilith.
take you
So make sure you've been introduced.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll meet all you guys, and they'll show up to the temple at 2 days before sundown to get set up, make sure everything's cool. I'll roll percentage to see if this rat also knows about the secret entrance. I rolled high enough. This rat folk knows about the secret entrance near the temple, and will also come out by the fountain and avoid any scrutiny.
If you spread the word so that we can get as many of their friends up there, and if they have a following, we want to bring them up there too. We want to make it easy for them to get there.
Maybe we'll get a big rat folk crowd.
Don't want it so that y'all have to go back underground after you play your set. We don't want those fans vanished. It'll be a big party for all the people.
Yeah.
All the people of the metropolis.
Let them know that food and beverages provided. There's only a couple cots and they're reserved for you guys, but they can always sleep on the floor if necessary.
Folks get too drunk to go back underground.
And there will most likely be an orgy. So as long as you guys are okay with that, you'll find a place to pass out.
They seem sex positive.
Yeah. Good. They are in a band? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
3 guys singing a cappella, they get laid.
They fuck.
Ladies love a guy with a deep bass voice. Oh, yeah. You can hop back on the train or take the stairs back upstairs and see where you are.
Take the stairs back up. What do you guys think?
Yep,
That's fantastic.
It's a great way to understand this underground rat-powered railroad system to see how it works. So you guys have gone from the Darling Temple, and you went east and then north, and you've emerged back near the bank. You guys are back up near the bank again when you emerge.
Do we hear any music?
24.
17.
4.
Those of you that do hear something, don't hear anything near the bank, but back near the east gate where you guys came in and had to perform in order to avoid a ticket fee. You know, that's how they let new and upcoming bands earn their way in the city for free in hopes that they'll play and attract new visitors. You don't hear any music there yet, but you hear like the sounds of a crowd gathering. Who knows? Maybe this is like a busy time of the day when people might show up through that gate, and maybe they'll catch a band there. You can check that out if you want. See how
Check it out.
the gate
Yeah,
stage is going.
Let's do a little scouting. What do you say?
Let's do it. I like how our D&D fantasy tonight is throwing an inclusive show.
We're so
We're so evil.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I totally am wondering if there's like a blood sacrifice corner of the Urgathoa temple. And if
Oh,
so,
dude, I have terrible intentions for this.
I mean,
Oh,
The
yeah,
thing
no,
about
that's-
Urgathoan temples, whatever happens at Urgathoan temple stays at Urgathoan temple, so if you die there, no one talks about it.
Oh, no,
Um,
that's fantastic.
It's a great place to do a murder.
Invite the bank teller.
We get Bogart to show up.
Or-
You guys will go to the east stage, the entrance for like out-of-towners coming in, who, if they want to avoid a ticket fee, can try to play music. You guys played there and were terrible, but the gathering crowd still seemed to tolerate. I mean, I wouldn't say terrible; it's terrible too harsh. You guys were passable as a band without having never practiced before. You guys made sounds. It was avant-garde, so it's it can be a mixed bag here. There are people that maybe are good musicians trying to come into town and make a name for themselves, and also people just trying to get into town who are gonna like bang their knives on stuff and call it music. The first group that comes through, you can tell they're a group of merchants pretending to be a band. They're like banging packages of goods together and gently tapping glass things together. They're trying to sell the market later, probably. You can enjoy it or not. So whatever it is bulk produced, which seems to be the norm in the world today. It's hard to find rare items. But yeah, they're banging their things from their cart together. They're obviously willing to sacrifice a couple broken goods just to get through the door without paying the fee or paying a ticket price or whatever. And they're probably going to try and sell these to someone. So it's obvious to you because you're evil, and even the base tenses motive, you see what's going on. But they're getting away with it. So you can watch them smash some stuff and bang some things together, and then they just load back at their car and get off stage. It's up to you if you want to call them a band or not.
Yeah, fuck that.
Skip these guys. Do you want to stick around and see if no one else comes in the gate? Put them before the Rat Band even? Like make them the opening act?
We can only go up from there.
Maybe if you guys knowing that they're kind of like scam artists know, if you told them they could sell their goods at their concert, like if tell them that, you go on stage, smash some things for 30 minutes, afterwards you can sell some stuff in the temple. They seem to be like merchants, so that might be like an enticement for them.
You said they were selling glass globes or something like that. Maybe we could get them to
One of
sell
them is selling
our-
like glass items.
Yeah, maybe we can get them to use their glass items to hold our funky brew or strange brew.
Instead of asking them to play at your show, you want to ask them to like provide vessels for drinking?
Yeah.
Over to glass.
Like order glasses, like a catering kind of a thing. Like here we, that way people are drinking out of like cheap cups or out of their hands, scooping up the zom brew with their hands.
Smash that shit on the ground. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Roll me diplomacy to order some cheap glassware from these folks.
17.
They have cases of glasses that you can drink out of. They have many glass-made things, but they have something like what you'd be looking for, either a flute or tumbler, whatever kind of glass you're looking for. You tell me. 40 gold a case for 10. So 10 glasses for 40 gold, so 4 gold each. They only sell in the cases though, so 40 gold for a case of 10.
400 for all 10 cases, and I would like for you to deliver them to the Temple of Urgathoa.
If you have 400 gold to do that, they seem down for that idea. This is arranged. Paid for and arranged. They'll deliver those glasses. That's great for them. That helps them not have to sell stuff in the market later. Actually, that's probably all of their glassware of that style.
We'll invite them to the party as well.
Oh, of
Tell them to
course.
spread the word.
While you're there, just hang out for the orgy. Roll diplomacy to see if they stick around for the orgy.
Yeah, it's only 13.
They might stick around for an hour after they drop off their goods.
That's a tip.
Yeah, they'll be here. They'll give it a good look over. Then they got other shit to do. They got other goods to put in the market and try and sell. But they'll come by for an hour and be friendly. They might catch the opening act, maybe the start of the second band.
We're going on, after sunset, so you guys should probably stick around.
Yeah, they won't because that's what you rolled. But they will deliver this glassware, and you will have nice
We're gonna get
glasses.
them fucked up
You-
on strange brew.
Yeah,
They're gonna
next to this
stick around.
weird ass chunky drink, you will have semi-nice glassware. Cheap, but it looks nice. So easily breakable, like champagne glasses or goblets or tumblers, whatever you want to imagine they'd be.
I would like champagne flutes.
You have 100 glasses of glassware there now to serve all the guests. Make this look fancier than usual. It takes up more table space than the punch or the food. Oh,
No,
they'll be
we're
delivered.
next to the kegs of strange brew.
Yeah,
We're not taking up table and altar space.
You just have them in the boxes next to the keg.
Yeah.
Grab one and toss the box. All right, yeah, that's fine.
We'll get someone to work it and pump the keg and hand out the glasses.
Hopefully there's some dedicated followers who'll volunteer for that. Just arrive early to arrange it, and I'm sure it can happen. So you guys have got glassware, one band. Do you want to stick around this same stage and wait to see if anyone else comes this way, or look for a band somewhere else?
Let's wait.
Let's wait. Yeah, why not?
Eastgate is not the busiest gate, so you have to wait another hour before anyone comes that way. Do you guys feel like you'd wait around an hour?
Let's go to the busiest gate. If there's one, okay, that might be a knowledge local, but to see the busiest gate, they might have a musician play.
Knowledge local to know where the most people come in from.
I vote we split up 2 and 2.
Ooh, split the party.
As soon as we walk away from this gate, we're gonna
Natural 20 local.
Alright, so Vic Von Claude, your knowledge of this town, natural 20. Who cares what anybody else rolled? Because you're natural 20, as long as you're willing to share. If anybody else rolled high, you can assume you know most of this. If you rolled low, you don't know shit.
True, I don't know shit.
But you'll know that the east and south gates are the only gates of the city, and neither one are very highly trafficked. The east gate has some merchants and some weirdos like you that come in that way. Rat folk come in that way. People from the eastern part of this continent come that way. But it's very rare, and not musician-y type people that come that way. All the tourists that come from the west part of the town through the docks, not even through a gate. So they're going to be coming straight off boats. There are also more bars and places to play music around there. So maybe if you went to that part of town, you'd hear more live music anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna find some sailors who play some fucking
Or the bars by the docks.
seaman music.
You feel like by the time you walk to that part of town, it'd be the part of the day where the bars might have live music. You know, there's 2 bars right by the port. It's several of the local establishments with stages. And on your walk there, you guys will spot a Bardic College. You can even find students if you wanted to. So on your way there, you can probably reveal a bunch more things about how to find more musicians. Go to the Bardic College and find some professional musicians, or go to the bar and find some bands playing for the tourists coming straight off the boats. Or both, split up like you were talking about doing anyway.
Asking, like, students, right? Can we find, like, a hipster?
It is a Bardic College, so all of them are hipsters. They're musicians. It's a college full of musicians.
I feel like students are going to be the ones who want to get weird and radical, not tourists.
Yeah.
And the ones playing the bar aren't necessarily tourists. They might just be more like older established musicians that have like residencies or have contracts to play at these bars during the week, that kind of a thing. Whereas the students may be up and coming. They may be better trained than the ones at the bars also, or they might be doing something more avant-garde because they're students. It's hard to tell. But you can also audition people at this college too. There's private music rooms that if you grease the wheel, you can probably get invited into one to hear them play or something.
Yes, let's invite one of them into a room alone and then kidnap them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You guys want to kidnap a college student?
How are we going to force them to play though? Like, we don't have access to their parents and family. Like, if we could, twist the screws to them, that'd be one
Put them
thing.
under duress.
I can hold their nipples. If it's
You're right, I'm good at that. I'm really
Physical intimidation threats.
Play or die.
I'll rip off your junk.
Would you guys like to intimidate a college student? Or kidnap and then intimidate? I don't know what order you want to do it in.
Well, we could just try to pick up some college kids the regular way by offering them free beer.
You can do that with a diplomacy check, easy. Would you like to, hey guys, want to come play over this church tonight? Free beer.
Yeah, is there a drum circle or something that we can approach?
Not in this part of town at this time of the day, but I mean, you do get the vibe that drum circles is something that definitely happens around here.
Is there anyone throwing a frisbee?
No, sports are discouraged. Just music.
We could try to hire a couple of people to play with us to, elevate our
Oh
game.
yeah, fill out your band a little bit.
There's going to be like 18 people standing up.
You can try to diplomacy to try and either coerce or hire some people to do some work for you guys in your band, rather than their own separate bands. I mean, these are students. They seem probably for money they would do some work, and they seem to be trained well to play well to be able to jam with your band pretty easily. Maybe them playing good will make you guys sound good, no matter how bad you are. So
That's
if you want,
kind of the plan, honestly.
yeah, even with you guys asking around without any kind of role. But it seems like if you're just playing an hour-long set, most of these students are willing to work for 30 gold for an hour, and they would bring their instrument, play along to the best of their ability.
I'll Diplo free beer and lots of, and there's an orgy, by the way. I got a 19.
They seem pretty firm on the 30 gold an hour, because that's a living wage in this area for musicians.
Yeah, pay artists for their work.
Unless you have some other way to sweeten the pot. We can get sex and beer we want, we're musicians. That's the seems their attitude. We have no problem getting sex or beer. So 30 gold each on top of that if they want to play in your band for an hour. If it's their own band, they'll play for free for 30 minutes to an hour with sex and beer. Fill out your band, 30 gold a person.
We could use at least one more band.
Yeah, we need one more band.
I got a 22.
Yeah, if they can play their own music, their own original tunes, they'll do a 30-minute set. The name of the band is Holiday. Nice, right? That's your temple.
Alright, we'll add them to the
For sex and beer.
tell
Titties
them
and
to tell their friends.
Is 3 bands enough, or you want to go for a 4th?
We want a Vishkanya band. Really kind of.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
I get that.
What's the race of the band that we just booked?
At the Bardic College, it's going to be a mixed race band. Like 1 human, 1 gnome, 1 dwarf, 1 halfling.
1 shot, 1 bourbon, and 1 beer.
Yeah. Might have some luck catching catching a Vishkanya band over by the harbor, maybe? Those wanna...
Or wherever those bars are. We're by the bars, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bars all over town, but there are two of the most crowded ones are by the ports where tourists come in. There are smaller bars in the other parts of town, but
I should check though. It's noticeably Fish Canyon, like people hanging a boot. I got a
Slithering a boot?
Yeah.
yeah, there's an inn near the There's an inn near the pier. There's a brewery behind it, and at the brewery behind the pier, there's some live music. 3 of the 6 members are Vishkanyan.
That's a good enough ratio for me.
Heavy on the
How long
horns.
is it?
If there was ska music in this world, you would call it ska music, I guess.
Ooh, love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do we sign these guys?
They're busy performing right now, but if you want to wait till they're done or try to pass the message while they're performing, you let me know. You wait for their break. They might take a break every 30 minutes or so. It's a bar gig kind of a band, so
I reckon we're gonna have to wait.
yeah. You wait around till they get a break, and then roll me diplomacy to say, hey, you want to play the show with us at this temple?
17, anybody else wanna help?
Wait.
17.
I rolled a 6, which is about right for a meter.
Yeah, Rain's frantically scribbling on a chalkboard, just looking like he's weird. Other 3 of you are doing well. They get paid 70 gold an hour to play here, so they would take 70 gold for an hour set at your show, or 35 gold for a half an hour set at your show.
Those bastards.
I'm willing to pay the 35 for a half an hour. It gives us a pretty good set. We've got, what?
We're bands. You guys are starting a pretty late show. Urgatho and followers might stay up all night, but you never know with music ordinances how late you can play. So 4 bands for a late night show is probably good to get you guys the 2 o'clock hour, if that's such a thing in this world.
Then hopefully we can get like a drum circle going later on.
Put on the flyer, bring your own drum. So you guys have secured 4 bands, so now do you want to go print your flyers and you have all the information you need? This band is called Thank the Knife.
Sweet Nothings, Holiday, Bank the Knife, and the Four Horsemen.
I'd go see that show. That sounds like a great show.
it's
What a bunch of well-named bands. You can arrange that bill in any order. You can tell what information you want. Don't forget to put your sponsor or whatever on that flyer. Go to the printer and tell me, the same way you go to the printer, you guys are going to, write down word for word with a quill pen, what you want to appear on this flyer. So whoever you want to put in charge of that, write down exactly what you want in the flyer. Tell me if you want an image included. That might cost a little extra if you do that. But otherwise, let me know. We'll do
I
it.
can draw a custom image. I'm a pretty good artist.
I would like to charge, oddly enough, Rain with writing out the flyer because he writes everything. So I would think that his handwriting should be pretty good.
It's actually phenomenal.
And he's really good at communicating with words because he has to do it succinctly all the time. He's
Yes.
Trust him.
It's maybe not so much that it costs per letter, that if you use too many letters, it just makes a very crowded flyer that doesn't look good. So Ray knows how to make this fit as
I'm not the
few
one who
letters as
pays for this,
possible.
so it's not really up to me. But
Yeah, I already
that's
said it
fine.
was one gold for 10 pages, no matter what. You guys can get away with that. Rain helping, maybe you can cut down on the number of letters you use just for visual reasons, making it look more sleek and visually appealing. So Rain, you go ahead and write on your chalkboard what you want this flyer to say, and that's what it's going to say and look like. You
Okay.
Tell us.
Let's go with the title of this. What do you guys think? For this event, down at Pound Town. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that.
Murder
Yeah.
fan.
Getting nasty.
Nasty. Okay. Nasty. We'll write that. That's and I'm gonna draw it out.
First line, get
Like-
nasty.
I'm gonna draw it out really nice on there too. I'm gonna make it artistic. Because you gotta lure them in, and then it's gonna be
You gotta say Urgathoven Temple at sunset.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna
You
do
remind him that he needs
uh,
those details, but he doesn't put them in yet.
So you get nasty. Then it's gonna have professional band. Let's have them start. Let's have the professional.
I'm gonna put them at the top like they're the headliner. Get nasty. Thank the knife.
And then we'll do the underground band.
The acapella band wanted to open.
Oh, they wanted to open? Then fuck
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll have them open.
We can do the Four Horsemen next to last, which is us.
Yeah, let's do that. Do the Rat Focus for the open.
Sweet
Then
Nothings.
So Get Nasty, Four Horsemen, and then Holiday followed by
Sweet Nothings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care.
It says those 5 things in a row
Alright.
in big block letters.
Well, I was gonna make
So
it-
far, it's a very confusing sentence.
Well, I mean, no. So it has it like a band layout. It has that each one has its own part, in center column down. Put it around.
Maybe add the word featuring or with to
Yeah,
make it
featuring.
obvious
We'll
it's a
go with
band.
Get Nasty featuring and those bands featuring these bands.
Or the
Uh,
Get Nasty show at the Urgathoan Temple featuring. They'll give you some layout advice because they're good printers.
And then free food, really big at the bottom.
With a explosion shape
I was gonna
around
say
it.
At the bottom, everybody gets
Free
laid.
food, free drinks,
free food,
sex.
Everybody gets laid at the bottom.
You include Hans.
Yeah, Hans.
Tubas provided by Hans Tuba Shop.
Put that in the corner, the right corner.
Put the Von Claude seal somewhere on there.
Von Claude Productions.
Yeah.
Company I just
Becomes a very busy flyer very quickly.
Can I roll to just March's lair? Like,
Yeah, of course.
make it
Yeah,
like
draw
that?
some shapes, little stars, penises, whatever you want to add on there.
Yeah, rockets.
A squirrel riding a bike.
Rockets, right? Rockets. Those weren't penises. Those were
Crazy
rockets.
tentacles, you know.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, I mean, you know how to draw stuff. You can add some little embellishments, and they'll print it out the way that you've drawn it. So it's a very busy flyer, but it has all the information you need: time,
No,
date,
but I have your attention.
location, all the relevant sponsorships and other things. So you guys can have a flyer. How many are you guys printing?
100,000.
Yeah. You go ahead and blow your whole account and print 1,000. You can, and it includes them with a street team putting some of them up. So it's already like paid for in the account. But with your 100 is included their service of putting them up at their regular locations.
I'll put another 100 gold down on the account to keep it open.
Oh, they know you're coming back now. They love that, for sure. These flyers are made. They'll be distributed. Unless you guys want to take a stack and distribute them yourselves, they'll do all the work. But if you want to take some yourself and put them in your...
Take some ourselves.
If you want to put them in specific
Give
places...
it to the act so that they can distribute it to wherever their fans have it to congregate.
Very smart. How many do you want to take for yourself? Maybe there's 1,000. Half and
Leave them
half,
with
60, 40.
Hey, 250.
They take 750, and then you can break up that 250 however you want among yourselves and the other bands. If you want to go back to where you met those people, if you hurry, you can still get them before they've left those places. That's fine. I'll allow that if you guys feel like rushing. We don't, as long as we don't mind a montage of you guys like running around town delivering flyers. Maybe to do it in time, you guys all split up even. So if you guys are willing to split up and then like pick a place to rejoin, I would allow you guys to deliver all these flyers immediately to where they need to go.
And let's get back at the temple.
50 to each band, so that's 150, right?
And you guys have 100 left. And how do you guys want to, for your 100, split up 25 each and do something with them while you're out, or 25 each and just do it over time, like whatever you want to do. You got 2
25
days.
each and hold on to them, maybe? I don't know.
If nothing else, they're blank on the back. You use it for scrap paper later. It's your call. Or light stuff on fire. Whatever. It's it's your paper at this point.
Both those last two things sound
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fires always sound good. Yeah, so you guys have 25 pieces of paper to do with whatever you wish. Unless you say otherwise, you guys will just rejoin later the temple without having to do anything with them. You've each delivered something to one band or otherwise. One of you probably just came straight to temple. I would assume Lilith. But you have 25 after that. Put up one here, and then have 24. One of you at least. Or all of you put up one, and then all over the temple. You can just pay for the temple then if you want to.
Well, it's a good day, guys. You guys want to eat some stuff and fuck some stuff?
That sounds fantastic.
Same time.
Got
You're
a
gonna-
place to crash?
You're
You
gonna
guys
eat
want
too
some
much,
beer?
you're gonna drink too much, you're gonna smoke too much.
We could...
That's a regular Dave Matthews song until you fuck too much.
We could also maybe ask about our hunt tomorrow because we do need to bring back a substantial amount of protein.
Yeah, let's talk to Tim and see where the good hunting grounds are around
Yeah,
here.
knowledge local or knowledge nature to figure that out.
Knowledge to me 12. Got a 16.
Nice.
Judge by what you guys have rolled so far, Tim doesn't inquire much about your lineup for bands, but does imply that a lot of town folk are fine with eating rat folk meat. Pretty popular.
No.
Easy kills. If you like go just outside the town to the east, there's rat folk villages, and like killing one of their children for food is really easy. There's some mountains and jungle to the north. It's a little bit longer of a ride, but you guys have horses. Otherwise, your best bet's ocean, trying to catch fish or something else like that. Or the Folks Bowl. Near the rat folk villages, there's fish there too.
Tune in next time for more Constant Chronicle Bad Egg. This episode of Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater was sponsored by our fans and friends on Patreon. Donate today. Keep Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater alive.